Hey guys, I'm at the Woodshed Barber, and this is part 2 of my thought process behind the new Babyliss FX ONE. Now, in this video, I just got done editing most of it. I get a little long-winded. I can do that from time to time. However, with that being said, I will say even at 10, 12 minutes into this video, I'm making probably some of my most valid points of why this system may not be what we think it is, or even what Babyliss thinks it is. And especially around 11 minutes, something crossed my mind that I forgot I watched on Tank B. Choppin's video, where he was there at the event in Vegas where they announced the FX ONE. The video of Dennis from Babyliss talking about the innovations. That he even mentions Chris Bossio. And I don't think he realized, and I get to this in the video about 11, 12 minutes in, how he pretty much just took Babyliss off the Tomb 45 platform in a way, if this is the future of the industry. And that bugs me. So if this is anything you're interested in, I know I get a little long-winded, but please bear with me. I've got a lot of points to make. This is going to be like a 16, 17-minute video, I think, by the time I'm done editing it. But guys, I appreciate you. I do this because I love the industry and I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And so without any further ado, let's get into this.
This is the barber shop, Cornerstone neighborhood.
What's up, guys? This is a rehashing of what I just released about my initial FX ONE reaction. And I've had some time to let it marinate a little bit. I've had some time to let it, soak in what Babyliss is talking about. I'm not gonna lie, I've got some questions, and it may seem negative. I don't want to be this negative guy just putting this negative stuff out there, but this barber thing has become a community over the past few years. And I have always been pro companies that are by barbers for barbers. You've seen me give huge nods to Chris Bossio and salute him with what he does, the barber plug. I am pro the barber industry being led by barbers, whether it be going old school with what happened maybe, 15, 20 years ago, whenever Lay Right was created by Don Hawley. If it is Ruzel being created by those dudes out there at Scorum. For me, it's important that we push a community of barber business. Now, I said in my last video about this whole FX ONE thing that it seems like Babyliss is on the verge of being the Apple of the barber industry. They're in their own little ecosystem, their own wheelhouse, and what I don't think they realize that they are doing, or maybe they do realize it, and if so, to me that's even more nefarious, is that they're putting a wall up around the barbers that use their products, making them not want to go elsewhere to try other things. So, bear with me. And also, they call this innovation. To me, innovation is moving forward, not creating more hassles along the way. So, you guys know my soapbox I've been on for, ever since I started this channel. I got a couple of them. Oster no longer cares about barbers. They just don't. And that Babyliss needs to include charging docks with their products. Now they're coming out with a system of a battery that comes out, and the battery goes into a charging dock, which is, look, the battery going to a charging dock is humorous no matter how you slice it. That the first tool, besides the Snap FX that they've created that came with a charging dock, actually has, it's a charging dock for a battery. Here's my problem with this. So I'm going to demonstrate this with the Low Pro. Now, granted, I did pay for it. They came out with it 7, 8 months after the fact, and I did buy the charging dock. Here is what I don't think they're realizing. They're creating more steps. For the hustling barber who's turning the chair, who's got people going in and out all the time, yeah, it may be beneficial to have an extra battery, but here's the difference. with what they have created, they didn't optimize their charging capabilities. To Stylecraft's credit, whenever Stylecraft Gamma comes out with something, for the most part, they come out with a charging dock. Almost always. Actually, I don't think they'd not come out with something with a charging dock. So they come out with something with a charging dock, and typically they have USB capabilities for charging. Now, that is not giving you an this or that. That's giving you this and that. What Babyliss is doing with the FX ONE, to me, seems problematic, and let me explain. Whenever you get done using a clipper, and I don't mean done using it for the day, I mean done using it for the haircut. You know, whether you cut from top to bottom or bottom to top, there's a moment where you shift from clipper, maybe to a different clipper, or maybe just from clipper to a trimmer, or a clipper to scissors, scissors to clipper, whichever one you do. Whenever I get done with my clipper, you know what I do? I put it in the charging dock. So for the next 5-10 minutes that I'm detailing, using my trim over comb, maybe using a different fading clipper, or just cutting with my shears, it's charging. Now, I've thought about this a lot. In the time that we have had good, I'm not gonna say all of the cordless clippers, but in the time that we have had good cordless clippers, all of my clippers that come with a charging dock, you know what they all have in common? They've never died on me. And why is that? Because they charge whenever I'm not using them. And on top of that, like I said in the last video, it's a safe place to put them to where you're not going to be possibly knocking them off your station, moving something around, dropping them, damaging a blade. It's a place to put them with a small footprint where they're safe and they're charging. Now with this new method, they're assuming that you're going to run out of a battery in the middle of using a clipper. Why? Because they don't come with charging docks. You're going to run out of a battery and hit the red button, eject out, grab a different battery, go in, keep going. Okay, well now you have to put that battery on a charging dock, which is what initially that would have been. So to me, they have made a bigger problem instead of just addressing the one that they should have addressed. And here's an interesting thing. The way that that battery goes in, it's not like the Andis Super ZR or the I'm not sure. I forget about the Octane. Do you have to take the battery out of the Octane to charge it? Or does it just have a separate charger next to it where you can charge a battery and have... Anyway, regardless, whenever you have those clippers docked, and yes, you can replace the battery. And the reason that is good and important is that if that battery fails, you don't have to buy a new clipper. You can just get a new battery, put it in. And honestly, the BGR was the first to do that. And granted, it was nickel cadmium, but it was the first to do that, at least for the barber industry. So even if they had a dock, now granted, I'm sure that that new Low Pro FX clipper might be able to fit on this, but would it charge it? No, because the way they have it designed is you have to take out the battery to charge it. So think about that. At the end of the day, whenever you're done, you don't just drop your clipper on a charger and it charges. You can't even plug up that clipper and it charge. You have to take the battery out, completely incapacitating your clipper to put it down the dock for it to charge. To me, it's like, what's that? What is that? That's one of my big problems with it, is that it's trying to get you to buy more batteries. That's the way it seems. Now, granted, they may be trying to transform everything about their line because, for the Low Pros and the FX line, they had one charger that fit all those, but the FX3 trimmer does not fit the FX3 shaver and vice versa. You've got this inconsistency with charging for them, whenever all they had to do is just make a base. The innovation to do this and incorporate this with all your clippers is not going to slow you down. And it's not going to take away your innovations. Honestly, I love everything else that they did with the new FX ONE that they're doing. That metal injected molding that they're doing with that new blade looks amazing. However, it does look just like the Vapor blade, so let's also talk about that. But it's got those little lines in there to hold oil. It is them doing good and good movements forward, good innovations forward. And the snap feature to be able to clear off the blade and the armature on your clipper to make sure it does not clog with hair and for cleaning purposes, brilliant. The fact that they've fixed this click lever apparently, and they've even made it more ergonomic, that's great. That's great. That's innovation. Giving somebody an extra step to hit a button, have a battery release, put that down, get another battery, put that in, instead of it just being on a daily basis, you put it in between haircuts or after you get done using your clipper, it trickle charges and it always stays charged. Since the invention of the lithium ion clipper base, the only clippers I've ever had die on me are the ones that did not come with a dock. The Babyliss, before I got the docks for them, yeah, it's a pain to grab a cord and do that. Because to me, it's battery powered at that point. It's not cordless because you're grabbing a cord. In the same way, it's not hands-free and it's not convenient if you're having to take out a battery, put it on the dock. And here's another thing, that battery is round. Bet money somebody's gonna fumble their battery, drop it, and accidentally kick it under their station just like we've done with our guards before. And then all of a sudden you're down there searching for a piece of clipper that honestly should have just been built in. And even if you do come up with a battery that comes out, make it to where it charges in the dock with the clipper. I just feel like this is very simple. And another thing that, so, sorry for the ranting, but
you know what really grinds my gears?
what does this do whenever this is probably right now, if not the most respected manufacturer of clippers, professional products for barbers in the industry right now? If it's not it's tied with second. Barbers love Babyliss. It's just true. But what does this do to companies like Tomb 45 that have honestly innovated and listened to barbers of what we want? That new battery, they're not going to have a way to be able to remotely charge that if you're part of the Tomb 45 system. If you've got the Tomb 45 power mat, you won't be able to do that. And well, if it doesn't charge with the bottom of the battery on there, guess what? This is not going to work with their new pods either. To me, this is doing more damage than good. The more I think about it, the more I don't like it. I'm not burning a bridge with Babyliss. I don't receive anything from anybody, so I'm not sitting here like ruining a relationship with Babyliss. I am a consumer. I am their target demographic, and what I see is that they make great products, but they don't listen to their barbers. They maybe listen to the ones that's on the payroll that are the yes men and yes women of the industry, but they don't listen to the ones testing them, going out there and having the cojones to say what they don't like. So not only this, but let me puff Wall up a bit with this. Wall came out with the first good adjustable cordless clipper. Whether it be the designer, the Magic Clip, or whenever they came out with, a couple years later, when they came out with the Senior. Now the Senior and all those before it, the Sterling 4, the Magic Clip, the designer, they came with the charging cord. There was no charging base then. But what did they do? They designed one that worked with all of their clippers. They understood what barbers needed, what barbers wanted, how it was a pain to grab a cord, especially whenever it was only like 70 to 80 minutes runtime, to plug up and hopefully remember to do that in between clients, whenever honestly you could have just dropped it in a dock. I think that Babyliss has great intentions for us. I do. I don't think that they're an evil company trying to turn into Apple. But here's the thing, if they're Apple, does that make Stylecraft Gamma Samsung? Because what I see is, my favorite trimmer right now is the Sabre. My favorite clipper, my favorite fading clipper is the X-Ergo. So when it comes to what they do, yeah, have they had some misses? Sure. But they're listening to barbers and doing what they've asked. They're not trying to reform the wheel by breaking it. They're not trying to do away with charging docks. The fact that they made a charging dock for a battery that has to be put upside down into it, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The more I've thought about it, the more it's kind of bothered me. And, you know, if this gets me some bad smoke from the Babyliss team, so be it. This is just all my opinion. I could be wrong on this. Maybe this is going to be a hit. But I think that those of us who like trying the things that are coming out in the industry, whether it be Andis's attempts lately to try to recapture what they once had, or even Oster trying to come out with something I noticed that all of them are doing, they're including these charging bases because they realize it's simpler and safer for a barber in his investment to just drop your clipper in and have it trickle charge while you're doing something else, some other work, and not have to worry about taking it apart and doing so. The more I've thought about this, is a miss. Just my opinion, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will self-correct some stuff. Maybe they come out with more than we think they're going to come out with. But to me, it feels like they're trying to take a caged system and call it innovation. But by the way, guys, let me know what you think. Please comment down below. Let me know your opinions. This is honestly just me rambling at this point. I'm passionate about what we do, and I just think it's asinine to come out with great tools with the worst charging options in the industry. Just a thought. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's keep it humble, because once again, this is just my opinion. I may be wrong, but let's keep it humble. Let's keep it kind. And guys, as always, I'll check you on the next one.